Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Well, tomorrow Kingdom Hearts 3 is released. I'm super excited. I'm putting this video together just to talk about a few things. Mainly I want to talk about the Disney World selection, just do a brief rant on that, and then talk about something the Jimquisition brought up, something I kind of agree with him to a certain point. It doesn't ruin the experience for me. I think it's somewhat fun. But he is right when he's saying from a literary perspective and even from a casual fan perspective, the Kingdom Hearts story is not good. But first, let's talk about the worlds. So far, everything I've seen from them and the worlds selected, I think are pretty good movies to go off of. The only gripe I have is I wish they had one classic 2D animated movie outside of Hercules. I don't really enjoy that movie that much. My appreciation has grown for it over the years. It's not as bad as I thought it was when I was younger, but it's not what I would consider a great movie. Far from being one of the best classics from that time period, yet Square Enix and Disney love to take us through that world, and they're taking it through again. I wouldn't mind just something from the 80s or 90s, maybe The Great Mouse Detective or something, that just was 2D, because everything else is either made by Pixar, so automatically computer generated, or made by Disney in the last 10 years. They're good movies, but I'm just a sucker for that classic animation that the Kingdom Hearts games that have come before have used and shown off so well. But other than that, the world selection I think is good. I think I'm going to enjoy going through the worlds. I even think Pirates of the Caribbean 3 is going to be made fun just by being able to experience it going through it as Sora, rather than watching a 3-hour movie that needed to be cut down by about 2 hours. So I am looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun, and I hope that they resolve a lot of plot issues so they can move forward. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because I think this is where Jim got it right. Jim Sterling got it right. There is just way too much plot going on in the Kingdom Hearts series. I have even tempted to make videos talking about it, because to get to Kingdom Hearts 3, just think about how many plot threads are going on. You've got Terra, Aqua, and Ventus stories, their connection to each other, their problems. That has to be moved forward, and that has to be resolved. You also got Ericus and Xehanort and young Xehanort's backstory and exposition. That's got to be taken care of as well. You also have Riku and his continuing plight. You have Kairi and Lee. And then finally you got Sora, Donald, Goofy fighting Master Xehanort, and then his 13 people underneath them. All that's got to be taken care of. And you still have to stop and do the Disney plot lines in between them. And with the exception of the original Kingdom Hearts, because the villains in that game were all Disney villains. It was mostly a cabal of Disney villains until the very end. The rest of the Kingdom Hearts series has kind of been broken up into, you had the Disney worlds and their story, and then you got the main story that usually happens and moves forward after you've beaten the Disney world. You get some exposition. Think about in Dream Drop Distance, the real story that was moving along in Dream Drop Distance was really Lee's story and convincing Mickey to help him out, find a way to wield his own Keyblade for most of the story. The rest of the stories that actually involved Sora and Riku really didn't matter. The things that were moving forward was Lee's attempt to find a Keyblade. That was what that was about. And then towards the end, yes, you get the huge exposition by Master Xehanort and what he plans on doing with Kingdom Hearts and all that. So you have that problem too. That kind of sticks it. And then all the other convoluted mess. And it's just not good. I'm hoping that Kingdom Hearts 3, we actually find them killing off a few characters, because the cast is so bloated. No one dies in Kingdom Hearts. None of the Kingdom Hearts characters have died so far, despite 10 games. Think about that. The only one that may have had a permadeath is Master Ericus, and he's a big question mark if he's actually dead or not. So it does have some problems with the story. with the dialogue that does need to be trimmed down. The good news is I do see Square Enix improving from where they were when they made Final Fantasy 13 and some of these other spin-offs, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, when it comes to storytelling. Fragmentary Passage has its own problems, but for the first 2/3, it was actually pretty good. Just listening to Aqua talk about her problems, her inner monologue, and describe her more as a character, I actually started to like her a little bit. And if you don't know me, I'm not a fan of Aqua. I have called her the Jar Jar Binks of the Kingdom Hearts series for a reason. She screws everything up. And just listening to her self-doubt as she realizes, she's made mistakes and drops some of that arrogance, did make Fragmentary Passage enjoyable. Unfortunately, they had to recon it to the rest of the train wreck, which is the Kingdom Hearts plot. In doing so, they managed to make two big oopsies. First, it's impossible to look at Fragmentary Passage and go, wow, Mickey Mouse is a dick. He's known this girl was in trouble all this time and never bothered to tell anyone. Second problem is that it destroys blank points, which is a lot of people's favorite part in Birth by Sleep. It's the secret ending you have to unlock, but it's 10 minutes long. Half of it's just dealing with Aqua and her problems. And the way that was originally set up is that Aqua finds Diz, and he's the first person she's talked to in almost a decade. She finds out how much time has passed in the other realms, that she's been locked away for a long time. Her friends are still missing. However, there is now a beacon of hope in Sora. She finds out that he's somehow managed to wield the Keyblade, and Diz has somehow given information on how to get in and how to get them out, that somehow has discovered the connections, which is what we find out in Recoded. And when she finds out that there's hope again, she starts to cry, and that all makes sense. With Fragmentary Passage, that's all thrown out because she's bumped into King Mickey right before then, and he's managed to tell them about Riku and Sora, so she shouldn't have even asked who this Keyblade wielder is. She should have already known it. So it destroys blank points. But you see that in Kingdom Hearts a lot. You see this kind of resetting the story, and oftentimes not to the greater benefit of the story. Another example of them kind of retconning an important element is for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Sora is kind of known as the chosen wielder of the Keyblade. Yeah, you can make the argument that Riku was supposed to be the original owner of the Keyblade, but he screwed up, and now it wound up in Sora's possession, and he's the rightful heir to that weapon. Well, in Birth by Sleep, we find out Sora is an accidental acquirer of one, and he even admits it in Dream Drop Distance. He's not supposed to have this weapon at all, and yeah, that's a bit of a big change when it comes to the characters that was just suddenly and inexplicably changed. And all that's not good storytelling, nor is it great world building. So hopefully after the Xehanort saga is done, Square Enix can look at exactly what they need to trim out of the story. They might even have to reboot the story, set it several generations down where Sora, Riku, and Kairi aren't a problem. They might cameo somewhere in the next game, but they're not the main characters, and just restart from new, because there's a lot of plot elements and a lot of problems with the Kingdom Hearts series. This is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for listening to this rant. I'll see you guys later.